I'm going to show you two tricks that I like to use in the machine shop to load a workpiece into the vise. So it's loading the workpiece in and out of the vise to make sure that I don't pinch my fingers in the vise handle when I'm taking the part in and out. And I'm also going to show you a trick that I use to make sure that I remember to actually tighten the vise. So when I take the vise handle and turn it clockwise, this jaw slides forward and closes and clamps onto a workpiece. When I turn it counterclockwise, this jaw moves backwards and opens. So if I'm going to load my workpiece into the machine, I would get my fixturing set up, load the part into the vise, and then what I like to do is turn the handle clockwise to close the jaw just until it's finger tight. And then depending on where the handle ends up, I'll pull the handle off, slide it on so that the handle is sticking more or less upright, and then stand to the right side of the machine and put your hand on the handle and lean all of your weight back against the handle with your arms straight a couple times. That's generally all the tighter that this needs to be to hold on to it while you're machining stuff. Then to loosen it, where the problem comes in when you go to remove the part is if you go to push on the handle counterclockwise to open the vise. If you hold onto the handle like this, you'll see that what happens when the handle swings over is your hand will come down and hit this corner of the vise. And we've got people nicking their fingers, or you can get your hand pinched in the handle like that where it hits the vise. So in order to make sure that that doesn't happen, rather than trying to push it open with your hand pinched in where the vise is, I like to either put the vise handle pointed up vertically, or you could put it over to one side. I'll grab the orange dead blow mallet that's on the side of all of the milling machines, and then just give it a couple taps to get that handle loose. And then once it's broken loose and it's finger tight, your part comes out again, and then you don't have your hand in here where it's going to get pinched. So for tightening, get the part in there, finger tight, have the vise handle sticking up straight, stand to one side and just pull your weight against it a couple times. And then for loosening it, position the handle so that you can tap it out of the way and you keep your hand out of the way so that it doesn't get pinched. So the trick to make sure I remember to tighten the vise is that once I've got the vise tightened, I've got my workpiece in here, I've got the handle upright, lean your weight into it. Once I know that my part is tight, I will take the vise handle completely off of the vise and set it out of the way somewhere. That way, whenever I'm looking at the vise, if the handle's been removed, I make myself remember that it's because I remembered to tighten it fully tight. And when I go to start taking a cut, it's not going to pull my workpiece out of the vise a little bit. So if you get to the step where you're just finger tight on the vise and you bring a cutting tool in here and start working on this part, if it really grabs onto the workpiece, it can pry it out of the vise. And in really severe situations, it can pry it out of the vise, and it might grab onto it and it can throw the part completely out of the vise, right? I can pull this out of here without a whole lot of effort. So you don't want to start taking a cut if you haven't got the vise completely tight.